Let's get it. Welcome back. I'm pumping out this content and I'm so excited. Hey, and I just can't hide it. So today's video, we're going to talk about the top 5 index funds for you to invest for the long term. And what I mean by the long term, I mean for retirement. So before we start this lovely, luscious content, I want you to stop what you're doing, like and subscribe. On the right side, you're going to see a red button. Click it, subscribe to my channel, share my videos, watch my videos from beginning to the end. Let's get this watch time up. And if you feel like anything and everything I've been saying is completely valuable and I'm not bullying you, support your boy. Support the content about investing, dividend investing. Enough. Let's get right into this content. So I've done the research so that you don't have to. 5 uh, index funds for you to invest into right now in a recession, in a bull market, in a bear market. And in my previous video, I talked about Vanguard's ETFs for you to invest into. I'm more of a Fidelity type of person. And so I'm going to go over 5 Fidelity index funds that mirrors the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, that you don't have to have any type of you have $0 for you to be able to invest into. So usually into index funds, there's a certain amount of money that you have to invest into in the beginning to join the fund. These index funds, you don't have to. You could join with $0 now. You could start. So as a beginner, for the first index fund, is going to be ticker symbol FSPGX. It's the Fidelity Large Cap Growth Index Fund. And I used to have this fund, and it has an expense ratio of 0.035%, which is extremely low. To be able to invest into this index fund, it has a NAV of $22.19, meaning that for each share, it costs $22.19 per share. And the minimum dollars to invest into this fund is $0. All you gotta do is open up an account with Fidelity, uh, deposit your money, and if you are interested in this account, you can. So I want to say, it says for about 5 or 6 years ago, if a person invested $10,000 in this fund, uh, right now they will have roughly looks like $25,000 just have invested $10,000 one time and just holding. The top 10 holdings in this particular large cap growth fund for Fidelity with a low expense ratio is Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, United Healthcare. That's new. Typically, it's like Berkshire Hathaway and like other things, but for United Healthcare to be in there, I actually own United Healthcare in my dividend portfolio, so that's good. It has invested in Google, Nvidia, so some tech stocks, Visa, Tesla, and Mastercard. And so year to date is up 6.5%. Good. So we all know that last year was a bummer. Everything was down from the Nasdaq, S&P 500 to even growth ETFs, stocks, and funds. But hey, let's think in the positive. It's up right now, 6.5%, and it definitely produces high returns. So if you want a fund for you to invest into for Fidelity, where it has a really low expense ratio, but then also giving you high returns, then Fidelity Large Cap Growth Index Fund (FSPGX) is the way to go. Let's talk about the next stock. The next index fund we're going to talk about is the Fidelity Zero Total Stock Market Index Fund. And the reason why is the zero, meaning that in terms of the expense ratio, you don't pay no cost to earn uh, to hold this index fund. So typically, like with VUL and VTI, those ETFs, the expense ratio, if my memory serves me well, because the equivalent to VZROX is VTI, the total stock market with Vanguard. I think the expense ratio is 0.03. So for them to, as a competitor, compete against Vanguard, they did like a series of funds that have a zero expense ratio. It costs $14.05 per share of FZROX. And if you guess that's 5 years, if you would invest $10,000 5 years ago, you would have roughly about $15,000, $15,000, and with the total stock market, it's a blend of a lot. So it's not usually in the growth funds. It's normally top heavy with like tech of Apple and Microsoft at like 10, 11%. But since it's the total stock market, it's going to be I would say it's more diversified compared to S&P 500 fund. So you see Apple and Microsoft is diversified with only 5 to 4%, and then all the other stocks from whether it's Berkshire Hathaway, Google, ExxonMobil, JB, it's like 1.5, 1%. So it's evenly balanced. And then right now, up until year to date, it is up about 5.5%, and so it's very low expense ratios. It produces about average return. So this basically you are invested into the total market. So when the market goes up, you make money. When the market goes down, everybody loses money. So don't feel bad because this is just the total market. The next uh, index fund that I did research on for you guys to invest into is real estate. And so let's go over it right now. And the reason why I chose this is because I know a lot of people they want the exposure with real estate. They love real estate investing, and I figured that let me look into a fund where people can uh, invest into real estate. You're not gonna get high returns with real estate, but you will get a lot of juicy dividends. And for this index fund, this Fidelity Real Estate Index Fund, it costs $15.72 per, let's say, uh, per stock or per share of the FSR index. And the different holdings is Prologis, American Tower, I own this in my dividend portfolio, Crown Castle, Realty Income, the dividend paying stock, DC Properties, the I want to say the Las Vegas REIT, even Well Tower. And so it's evenly diversified. It's a fund that provides paying a great juicy dividend. And so usually you're not going to really buy this fund for capital appreciation. You're really going to buy this just to receive the dividend income, but most importantly, to be more diversified with REITs or have that real estate exposure without owning real estate and have to deal with tenants. So this is a great index fund to deal with real estate if you want that real estate exposure. Again, the Fidelity Real Estate Index Fund, it only costs $15.72 per share, and it has a plethora. And with these here, it's only 42%, which means that the other holdings, there's many other holdings in the real estate realm of REITs for you to be able to invest into this fund to be highly diversified across all of the real estate. And if you can understand how excited I am, I'm excited. The next index fund that we're going to talk about is it needs no introduction. It's the Fidelity Nasdaq Composite Index Fund. The reason why this is so important is basically this index fund mirrors the Nasdaq index. And so when you think of the Nasdaq index, think of QQQ ETF. This is the index component that Fidelity has that mirrors that same market. The Nasdaq is heavy in tech. It's not all tech, but it's heavy in tech, high growth, high returns. With this, it has a medium expense component. So compared to the other index funds that I've spoke about that has had a lower expense ratio, this one has a 0.30 net expense ratio. So for each share that you hold, you're going to pay the fund manager 0.3%. So you do that 0.3 divided by 100. That's how much you pay for owning this. Each share costs $143.61. So I know you're like, Harold, if the other ones, the previous three, has had, like lower than 3% expense ratio, why are you showing us a 0.3? Because with the Nasdaq, you get what you pay for. So uh, I would say 10 years ago, if you were to invest $10,000 into this Fidelity Nasdaq Composite Index Fund or into the Nasdaq Index, right now, just 10 years, you will have like roughly $45,000. Now, if before we hit this recession, you would have had roughly $55,000 just if you would just bought it and held it. And basically, it mirrors the Nasdaq industry. So Apple, Microsoft, I told you, the previous one, the total stock market, it was a lot more balanced. With this, it's heavy hitter into the tech market and tech industry. 12% invest into Apple, 10% invest into Microsoft, big investments into Google, big investments into Tesla. And back in 2020, 2021, it was one of the years where when like Tesla had really like took off and it was like 97%. And so if you'd have invested in Tesla, you would have made a lot of money. Uh, it has investment to Broadcom, a semiconductor. Uh, if you can understand my excitement, it's the Nasdaq, baby. It's the Nasdaq. Like, how can you forsake the Nasdaq? Don't let this recession or don't let this bear market cloud you from understanding tech companies. Tech is the future. Nasdaq is going to deliver gains. Why the market is down now? Buy the market. Continue to buy the market. When the market is up, when the market is down, dollar cost average. Whew, I'm so excited. You get excited. So year to date, the Nasdaq and this fund has delivered a return. It's up 8.89%. So we know the 1 year, basically last year was just a dumpster fire. Anything you probably invested in, Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, anything, was just a dumpster fire. But we're on the up and up. Inflation is beginning to cool, and the CPI data and the PPI data, and it's just starting to go down. And with that, hopefully the hopefully Powell begin to taper back these increases on interest rates. But until then, let's get these returns as much as possible. So again, FNCMX, which is the Fidelity Nasdaq Composite Index Fund, costs $143.61. A great index to look into. And lastly, the S&P 500 version of Fidelity, which is FXAIX. It's Fidelity's 500 Index Fund, which is essentially the S&P 500. It mirrors the same index. If you would have put $10,000 10 years ago, you would have roughly about $35,000 up here. Looks like maybe 40,000, but right now about 35,000 due to that 1 year being down 18%. But year to date, we are up about 4.5%, a little over that, for the performance of the S&P 500. With this index fund, it costs 0.015%. So that's how much you have to pay a fund manager to manage this index. So it's cheap. And right here you see that it has a little bit more exposure with the Apple and the Microsoft, not as high as the Nasdaq, but still 6 and 5% to get those gains. And also, I don't see the Tesla, but it has Amazon, Google, United Healthcare that invested to as well. And this is a great fund that to invest into. It's so great that even I invest in. Let me show you real quick. In my investment portfolio for my 401k, I invest into uh, FXAIX. There it is. It's right here. And so I invest into it. I roughly buy like $350 per biweekly for my biweekly checks. And then as you see, with each go around, I buy roughly like 2.5 shares, and it just keep going. I'm at a quantity right now of 31 shares, and it's just gonna go up. And so as you see that oh, there it is. As you see that it was basically I started out with a zero and then began to stair step and it's boom, and then it was like was like $350, but then the market had went down, and then with each time with bi-weekly it buys more, and I've been buying more. So you see a wonderful stair step, and then I'm just gonna keep on doing it. I'm gonna keep on buying the S&P 500. I'm gonna let it grow, and then boom, I'm just gonna let it grow, and then whenever if I decide to leave, or if I decide to uh transfer it over, I would transfer it over to my traditional IRA. But just wanted to show you that I also invest into these funds. I don't recommend anything that I don't invest into myself. This is my personal 401k that I invest into, and I invest into FXAIX, which is the S&P 500 version of Fidelity. So if you enjoyed this wonderful content, if you enjoy my excitement, if you learned something new, because basically I'm just giving you different type of funds for you to either do your research on, or to diversify your portfolio, to even add, and just know that a lot of these funds outside of the Nasdaq, the expense ratio is extremely low, or little to none at all. So to invest into these different funds, it won't cost you a thing. I know love don't cost a thing. I know that's a movie, but also majority of these funds won't cost you a thing. You won't have to put money into the fund manager's pocket, and that's the goal. Or you make money through the real estate and through REITs. So it all depends on which one do. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and just like that, there's multiple ways to make money. I'm just here to open your eyes and give you suggestions on just different techniques and different strategies that you can look into. You do your own research, and I'm just here just to offer just what you can do, and basically how to make money either through dividends or through capital appreciation. So if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe to my channel. Click the red button. Look through some other videos. Look through my videos all the way through from beginning to end. Share, and I hope you enjoy your day.